All right, so wow, this news just came out. According to Adam Schefter, the Giants are making a quarterback change. It is officially Jackson Dart season in New York. Russell Wilson, 36, about to be 37. If you watched him on Sunday Night Football, I mean, he looked absolutely abysmal. Now, as a college football casual, I don't know much about Jackson Dart, but I just know that the Giants needed to make a change. There were rumblings about Jameis Winston, but obviously, he's still going to be the quarterback three, I assume, potentially, in New York, even though he's an intriguing guy because he can throw 300 passing yards a game, but also kill you with 2 to 3 interceptions in that said game as well, with also like 3 touchdowns. It's the Jameis Winston experience. But let's talk about Jackson Dart. So, yeah, if you especially watch that, before we get to Jackson Dart, let's talk about Russell Wilson. So, if you watch that last drive of the Giants Sunday Night Football game, you saw the Russell Wilson had 4 throwaways on one drive. He literally was at point throwing that to Casper Friendly Ghost, throwing it to literally me. I'll include a clip right after this as well that I put on here. Caleb Williams had a career game against him. Russell Wilson throwing that shit to me again. Touchdown. Three. Fourth and goal. Russell Wilson throwing that shit to me once again. Some of the worst passes I've seen in my entire life, Russell Wilson. Holy shit. It's over for him. Why everyone just restart at this point. And I actually like Brian Dable, to be honest. But it was absolutely abysmal. I mean, a change needed to be happening. Malik Neighbors has, like 32 targets, 16 receptions. He's one of the better wide receivers in all of football, and it's not his fault that he has, like, a 50%, like, catch, radius, share, whatever. It's just not ideal at all. I mentioned this, but I forgot to mention as well. The Giants actually have real weapons on this team, like offense and defense. Like defensively, they have Dexter Lawrence. They have the third overall pick, Abdul Carter. They have Brian Burns. They have Kayvon Thibodeau is intriguing as well. Like they're an intriguing team. They're just kind of like a quarterback away, kind of, Russell Wilson had that fake game against the Cowboys defense, which just got absolutely just detonated by Caleb Williams, who's a good quarterback, but not great. He had almost 300 passing yards. He had most of that in the first half. Like, that Cowboys secondary, man. Trevon Diggs does not look good, even without a DeRon Bland, who, again, is a interception merchant. It's just not an ideal defense. That Commanders game, I mean, I didn't really catch, again, much of that game, but did not look like Russell Wilson played a good game in that week one against the Commanders defense in a secondary. That is, in my opinion, very shaky, a very questionable Commanders team that I was very down on this season, and it looks like so far, I was correct. It's only 3 weeks. I'm not going to victory lap, but just saying. But the lack of accuracy, man. Again, fool's gold in week 2. Malik Neighbors was going. Wan'Dale Robinson was going. But yeah, so quotes and updates are still coming through. Apparently, according to Ian Rappaport, Coach Brian Dable has informed both quarterbacks of the change that he opened the door for yesterday. And, that was a rumblings after week 1. He had that grade 2, and then the week 3 happened, and everybody was watching the game. And it was really the Cam Scatterbo show. Russell Wilson was nowhere to be found. But yeah, Jackson Dart's official starting quarterback. I'm happy for Giants being out there. Again, I don't know much about Jackson Dart at all, outside of him just handing the ball off and running a play like this season. But apparently, they're high on him. They traded up to get him. A couple people I know are high on Jackson Dart as well. So hopefully, Giants fans, they have their starting quarterback in the future here in Jackson Dart. They had a little bit of package for him. The crowd would cheer when he would get in, and then they put Russell Wilson back in Sunday Night Football, and they would boo. So hopefully a young, exciting quarterback, Jackson Dart, can propel the Giants to something when they have an absolute gauntlet as a schedule. Important. As I'm recording, I'm seeing that Rappaport said that Russell Wilson is expected to be the backup. So Jameis Winston is still quarterback 3 in New York. So could he be traded? There was a rumblings about Russell Wilson possibly traded. Now that he got benched, I think that definitely lowers his chances of being traded. But what a gauntlet of a schedule. The Commanders, mid. Cowboys defense, absolutely abysmal. The pass defense is absolutely gaudy, just awful, just revolting. What is that heinous smell? The Kansas City Chiefs, they do have a good defense, and the offense has been shaky. Sands, Tyquan Thornton, of course, as a Patriots fan. Chargers, that's a tough team. That's a tough team to make his NFL debut again for Jackson Dart. I would have probably started him week 5 against the Saints. One of the worst teams in the NFL, but it is on the road. I do start Jackson Dart at home. I got the Chargers defense, which has been one of the better teams and one of the better defenses in all of football. So not ideal. After that, you have the Eagles defense. It's been up and down. Broncos defense, I feel like hasn't been as great as I thought it would be, but it's still not a bad defense. Was ever still a damn good defense. You have Pat Surtain. You have Nick Nito. You have a lot of underrated guys in that team.
And faced the Eagles again. 49ers defense, sans Nick Bosa, torn ACL, unfortunately. Praise to Nick Bosa, absolute dog. Bears defense, which has, it has their holes in the secondary. The run defense isn't stout. Pass defense is stout. But they have guys, they have guys for sure. Green Bay Packers defense has been amazing. Obviously, they just got Micah Parsons. Lions defense looked amazing yesterday on Monday Night Football. 7 sacks against Lamar Jackson. Oh my God. Patriots defense. As a Patriots fan, that's on ESPN. Yep, I will not be seated, unfortunately. Kidding, by the way. I will be seated for that game. Patriots pass defense has been god awful aside of last week against Aaron Rodgers, who may be more washed than I thought he did. I mean, he's not terrible, but he looked pretty decent. I think some plays the first 2 weeks, and then against us, he missed a lot of throws. But of course, he hit the most important ones: the touchdown to DK Metcalf, mossing Carlton Davis, and then the one to win the game, Calvin Austin going ahead and beating Marcus Jones for a touchdown. So, yeah, 5 turnovers does that, but it's not here to talk about the Patriots, baby. We're talking about Jaxson Dart, and they faced the Commanders defense, with, again, not stout. Vikings defense was amazing. Brian Flores is a dog. Isaiah Rodgers is a guy. So literally, last time I heard about him, he got suspended for gambling on the Colts. So, yeah. Then the Raiders defense, which the D-line is very interesting. And then the Cowboys defense, where the secondary just is absolutely piss poor, even with getting a Deron Bland back, who I call a pick 6 merchant. So, yeah, so Jaxson Dart season officially in New York. Congrats to him. Hopefully he does his thing. Hopefully the Giants have their guy at quarterback. Because Russell Wilson, my brother in Christ, if you watched him last year for the Steelers, I mean, you knew this was coming. I mean, there was a good part of me last year that was like, just start Justin Fields. At least he can run the football. Russell Wilson doesn't have the arm. They play conservative. Even his last couple of years in Denver, especially his last year, how conservative as a betting man the Broncos were. They literally ran the hell of the ball. They only allowed him to throw like conservative plays and medium balls. And I saw week 2 against the Cowboys him throwing moon balls, Wan'Dale Robinson, like neighbors. I'm like, hold on. But then we saw Caleb Williams terrorize that defense, and it's like, yeah, that Cowboy secondary is absolutely piss poor. So yeah, Jaxson Dart era officially starts in New York. Giants fan, how you guys feel about that? Russell Wilson, my brother in Christ, great human being, but unfortunately, Father Time is undefeated, and today was your day. But yeah, Jaxson Dart season officially in New York, and excited to see what happens down there. League neighbors, let's see what happens. Wan'Dale Robinson, I got him on my fantasy bench, see what he's talking about. But yeah, the Giants have officially made the move. Wow. I thought it would come in one more week, but became a week early against a Chargers defense. So kind of reminds me last year when the Patriots started Drake May against the Texans' amazing defense, and he threw like 2 picks, but he did throw a touchdown to Kayshon Boutte over what's his name, Derek Stingley, who's been a little shaky this season. But yeah, first Jaxson Dart season in New York. Wow, wow, wow.